And it goes like this. I'm from Derby, so it's about, It goes, and this is the start of it. This town, with its cobbled streets and terraced houses, its back alleys filled with trodden autumn leaves and McDonald's receipts, its old family names etched into the stones of cemeteries, kids laughing and playing in the monkey bars, and teenagers necking Skittles and vodka after dark. It's the corner shop where little uns buy footy stickers to fill their mags, and they still don't charge you for plastic bags. It's the chippy next to the Chinese and the plastic seats on the 63. It's the old Victorian chimneys that catch the heels of your feet as you walk down past the great East Mill that stands like the castle it once was. Cracked windows, blood-stained walls, the echoes of God knows how many voices. Great brothers, great sisters, great uncles and aunties all stand within its spider's web, its metallic structure, its energy propelled by dough and water, a target during the war. You know, lad, we once made nails for all those northern factories and we never get credit for that. Granddads say to their grandkids who cross their grandkids in the street, you see, this town is a town you never leave. Unless you're Dean, who we find standing outside the Rifleman's, still slightly knobbly knee, dressed in skinny jeans, frame hung like the awkward teen he once was. Except Dean's 25 and Dean's got a degree and Dean earns a decent salary. He doesn't own a house, but he does live down south with his girlfriend based in Hackney. But he's not been back here in time, about 5 years to be precise. So as he steps inside through the heavy wooden doors, he feels his footsteps tap out his own irrelevance. In his head, he's practicing his opening sentences, nervous about the sentiments, those old decrepit elephants that could fill the room. But luckily for Dean, the room smells just as it used to. Stale carling and cigarettes, salt and vinegar crisps and Scotch whiskey. Oi, soft shine. Dean turns his head. And there's Joe, sat at a table with 2 pints and 3 battered beer mats. Now, Joe doesn't stand, but does extend the right hand, skin slightly tanned from working on the land. Joe didn't become a student. Joe didn't do that. Shoulders built like the bricks, like the width of the Berlin Wall. Haircut short, muscles firm and taut, knuckles jagged like dry stone walls. Long time no see, he says. Where have you been? Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I think poetry is a really weird thing. Some poems you have to work at for years to get right, and some just like fall out of you. And I did a lot of writing when I was like 16 to 21, and I didn't write for years, didn't do any of it for years. And when I was like 25, 26, I started again. And this was one of the ones that just kind of fell out of me. It just like came from nowhere and just fell out. And it was almost like I was like spreading myself across the canvas and being like, what do I want to explore? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it's called I Am, and it goes like this. I am my mum's love. I am my father's son. I am my sister's charm, scar. I am still laughing from when we shared a room, still crying from when we got our own. I am Sundays with my nan, sat not kneed on Our Lady's wooden benches as she sang hymns from her Irish eyes. I am the whiskey her father sipped. I am the British bullet that burst her uncle's ribs after he fought for what he thought was his. I am a product of that occupation. I am a ferry that brought them here. I am proof that even though the Republic lives, it is the colonisers who always win. For there is no barley in my accent, and really it should be full to the brim. Yet I am my old man's son, his cloth-capped stagger, his slight scouse stammer, his estate-made manner. I am every book he placed on my shelves that taught me how to fall in love. I am my mates and who we were back then. Those pennies we used to make, those bags we used to bake, those pounds we used to save. I am the way we showed each other love through sideways glances and held each other's hand through second answers. I am the shoes I wore to their funeral. I am the conversations we never had as we stood beside the nags, flicking our extra slims into puddles. I am how I never got to say goodbye. I am still trying to figure out how all that happened, how time passes, how life matters, how glass shatters. Cheers. Thank you very much. So I think one of the weird things I think about education is you can kind of, as you go through it, if you're from, I guess like a small city, small town, you kind of move away from the people you're from sometimes. I'm lucky, I went to uni, kind of got a job, and some of my friends didn't have that similar path, and so sometimes you have these moments where you're like, oh, like things have changed, and they can be a bit difficult. And one of my closest friends, this is kind of a poem about him. It's called Dog-Like, and it goes like this. Don't lean down there. No, it's okay. Thank you. "How are you?" I ask. "Dog-like," he says, wrapping a gasless clipper over his fucked up knuckles. See, he doesn't look good. Busted lip, shoulders dipped, hunched in from broken rib. No, he doesn't look good. See, we're old friends from the early days, of way back when days were spent strutting through summers in total 90s, scoring stunners in schoolyard stadiums. Both the town's two best left footers, half a screw loose from being brothers. We looked out for each other. Dog-like, he says again, sitting forward, pint glass grasped, eyes holding a certain mist. Once upon, he was Don of War, steel-jawed, fighting was what this town loved him for. I've been breaking the law, he tells me, after we're 3 pints in, shredded skin, back to being just me and him. Why, I ask. I couldn't keep on doing what I did, he says, could you? I realise I have no answer to give, for even though we share the same accent, it's no longer the same class where we sit. My hands uncalloused, his missing the pleasure of fingertips, from sandpapered grit and scrap metal shifts, a class medal sits, pressing into his chest, causing cardiac arrest. This town's a fucking mess, he says. Nothing but a pothole now, he says. I'm glad I'm going down, he says. Cheers. There's this poem I've not performed in a long time, but it kind of weirdly has like come back and feels really important. I wrote it when it was like, I guess like Brexit was happening and Nigel Farage was everywhere. He seems to somehow have come back, and I was lying there this morning, I was like, oh, this could be quite a good one to do, but I've not performed it in maybe like 8 years, so it might go wrong. And I think he's a bit of a donut, and I think it's been interesting seeing the way his views have crept into where I'm from, and I don't agree with him. So it goes like this. Are you done, mate? Because it's getting kind of dark and I'm bored straight. Are your words are nothing but a farce past the portrait and a new packet of darts called the pretense? I know exactly what you are. Now, Nigel, I imagine you have wet dreams of boys in military forces raising gauntlets to portraits of Enoch Powell, and wives who wanker down in the kitchen cooking for you. But no fajitas or Dijon mustard, no, strictly baked beans and crumpets, because that's what we won the war with. You want to bang, bang, bang every door shut and blame, blame, blame everyone but those brutes and suits that have privatised their own babies. I call you a dickhead, mate, but that'll be a compliment, maybe. So you're done, mate, because it's getting kind of dark, you're bored straight. Your words are nothing but a farce past the portrait and a new packet of darts called the pretense. I know exactly what you are. But I see your views creeping into my community, to lads who used to be safe as fuck as we sat up in Polish clubs rapping bud, listening to reggae dub, and now saying what have foreigners ever done for us. I mean, you're drinking a red stripe, bruv. But I don't blame them, I blame low wages. I don't blame them, I blame 0-hour contracts and Sports Direct and pound savers. I blame 15 years of austerity, all those years of the Tories, 10 years of New Labour, and an education system that spits you out and claims that you're a failure. But most of all, I blame you, acting like a man of the people in the suit that's always blue. So you're done, mate, it's getting kind of dark, and I'm bored straight. Your words are nothing but a farce past the portrait, and a new packet of darts called the pretense. I know exactly what you are. Cheers. Appreciate it. I'm gonna do 2 more, okay? Got time for 2 more? I'm gonna do 2 more. I've got a new book coming out next year called The Things That Make Us Human. And it's kind of about how complicated and messy we are as humans and how that's like okay. And I always think books are kind of like albums. You have like the big track, the big single from the book. And that's called, I think that's this poem I'm about to do, which is called The City is Hard to Live in Sometimes. And I love the city, and I love how much culture is in the city, and like creative opportunities and like bar, and it's all great. Just it costs so much. So you've got to work all the time. And so if you're trying to be creative, it's hard because you're like, well, I want to be here, but I can't go to work, I can't earn, and you're trying to rent, and it's all those difficult things. And it's about that. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to finish on a funny one, which I think would be nice. But this is The City Can Be Hard to Live in Sometimes. And it goes like this. The city can be hard to live in sometimes. It grips you by the jaw, makes everything feel impossible. It holds you beneath black spots and overpriced flats and pushes you through housemates, forces you to double up, hold you there until the ceiling cracks. Mornings wake in sleep, days move heavy. Cranes carry huge cubes, the rain hits with deep drops. Cigarette between fists, the night falling around my shoulders. I arrived here bursting into the brim, bouncing into basements, balconies, bus stops, crouched by the curbside of the PEV, a cold lager sweating within my palms, the streetlights catching my neck, craving someone to live inside my bones. I found myself down the cracks of sofas, getting stoned, staring out the window onto Oldham Street. His Nexus Cafe got hoovered up, but the city just shrugged, pushed another day onto my shoulders. So I drank milk from the carton, allowed the plastic to linger on the tip of my tongue. In the queue at the White Hotel, I felt like a god. I fell in love with the sound inside my dreams. Confess secrets like a corpse in the fog. Every now and then you catch the sun's early wheel glinting down the Hilton, down Deansgate, its glass tongue ricocheting off the glass. All this human work holding us like wasps in glass jars, its hands far from gentle. So I held the eyeline of strangers, imagine tracing my fingertip across their neckline to shoulder and wrapping myself up in the silence of their breath. The carriage jolts, the doors slide open. I'm fine, mate. Honestly, I'm fine. Pushing my trolley down the cereal aisle in cheap shoes and shirts. Pockets stuffed with Rizzler, as friends who can afford it retreat into their own homes, invite me every third Tuesday, lay out the table with salted crisps and olives, tell me all of this is normal, the fact we barely speak or dance or do any of the things that make us human. Cheers. Got that. Thank you. Thanks very much. So I'm going to do one short one and one more, is that okay? And then we're done. For this new book, part of the process was I went through a lot of old poetry books that I wrote when I was like 16 to 18 and I wanted to find some of that old stuff. And there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of like smoking weed and like not trusting the government. Like, I'm going to sit here and I don't trust them, I want to get high and they won't get me, which I thought was interesting. But I found this one that's about a rave when I was like 19, and it goes: the moon above the docks, the light falls from the sky, the floor vibrates, the police car engine revs, I swear those lasers are still in my eyes. Something is happening, come closer, hold me tight, my heart is running upwards, my shoulders have never felt so light. Look around, what is this place? 3 floors of crowds, it's fucking mad. Bodies sway like river reeds, a sack loops over, heads roll back. Look at the hems of those Levi jeans, look at the smoke appearing from people's lips. Is that Tilly over there with Dan? Look at my hand and how my skin is moving. No foot that touch my lips, show me I'm still alive. Give me water, give me stories, give me your middle name. Can't we curl up on this concrete? Can't we split a cigarette? Can't we breathe just for a moment and watch the sun rise behind this metal fence? Thank you.